In this video, I'm going to break down the 5 steps to buying a home right here in South Carolina. That's right, I'm going to answer the questions. Do you need an attorney right here in South Carolina? Are they going to review your contract? Do you need a pre-approval if you're buying a new construction home that isn't ready yet? All these questions and so much more. So let's get started. And for those of you that don't know who I am, my name is Brandon. Not only am I a transplant here to South Carolina, but I'm a local real estate agent as well, covering the midlands of South Carolina, Lexington, Columbia, and Lake Murray. And I put videos out every single week teaching you about the area to see if it's right for you. So don't forget to click that subscribe button, but let's get started with the video. Alright, so like I said, in this video, we're going to be talking about the 5 steps to buying a home. I think this is really important because I will talk to a lot of clients from around the country. And from talking to them, I realized that every state has different laws and different ways that they do things, as well as the time frame it takes to buy a house. So that's why I wanted to break down the 5 steps to buying a home. Now, as a note, I am right here in the midlands of South Carolina, Lexington, Columbia, Lake Murray, and the surrounding areas. However, our company does have offices throughout the state. And talking with those agents, I've realized that some of these things may differ from area to area. So the first step to buying a home, no matter what state you're in, is getting pre-approved or having a proof of funds letter. And I'm going to break down both. Proof of funds. Proof of funds is if you're paying with cash. This is a letter that your bank can provide that shows that you have the adequate funds to purchase this home. Or maybe you're using the funds from the sale of a house. In this scenario, what you would need is the payoff on your house, as well as the contract showing that the difference that you're going to net is enough to pay for this house. Now, let's dive into a pre-approval. And before I continue, you may ask, why is this the first step, Brandon? And the reason is for 2 things. One, because you want to be looking at houses that are in your budget. And I'm not just talking about a number, $300,000, $400,000. I'm talking about monthly payments. Because obviously this can vary depending on interest rates, as well as the loan program. We have conventional loans, FHA loans, VA loans for our veterans, USDA loans, construction loans. There's a lot of different options, and that's why it's important to get pre-approved so that you can find a home that's within a comfortable budget for you. As well, it was once explained to me that pre-approval is like Willy Wonka's golden ticket. Unless you have a pre-approval or that proof of funds, the sellers aren't going to consider your offer. Now, when it comes to a new construction home, you may ask, do I need to get pre-approved even if the houses aren't ready yet? And the answer is yes. So again, that's going to show that you can afford the house that you're trying to purchase. And the builder will want to see that before you go under contract. Now, if the house is 6 months out, this is still going to be the same. And obviously the process of approval will just kind of be drawn out. They'll do some of the steps in the forefront once you go under contract, and some of the steps as the home gets closer to completion. Now, as far as getting pre-approved and what you need, I do plan on making a video with one of our partner lenders answering those questions. But in the meantime, if you have any questions, if you head over to my site, brandongaron.com, click on the buyer's link, you'll see a section that says mortgage. It's going to have a mortgage calculator, and at the bottom, it's going to have contact for our preferred lenders. They have helped plenty of my clients when it comes to relocating the state, so feel free to reach out to them if you have any questions. All right, now that you're pre-approved, let's move to step 2, home shopping. Now, I get a lot of questions about home shopping. How many homes is a fair amount till you make the right decision? And the funny thing is this varies from person to person. I've had people that the very first house they walked into was the one they purchased. And I've had others that still to this day have not purchased a home after a long time of looking. So that's why I say it's very dependent on you and your wants and needs and what's available on the market at the time. Now, when you're home shopping, what should you be looking for? One of the biggest things we always tell people is location, location, location. Because obviously for a price, you can remodel your house, you can update the bathrooms, you can paint it a new color. However, you can't pick it up and move it. So that's why location is always key when it comes to purchasing a home. And there are so many factors that help someone determine if it's the right neighborhood for them. So that's why it's always good to do your research, which I know you're doing right here. And I have plenty of videos out there that kind of share a bunch of different areas around. And of course, coming to see it in person is going to be another great way to help you determine if it's the right neighborhood for you. Now, you may ask, well, what if I can't be there, Brandon? Is that okay? And the answer is yes. Again, this is totally based on your comfortability level. I've had people that I've taken pictures of home, videos, all kinds of different things, and they bought a home basically sight unseen. And I've had other people that weren't quite comfortable with that, and the only way they're going to purchase is that they could see it, they could touch it, they could smell it. No matter what your comfortability level is, that's what I'm here for. Step 3, going under contract. In the state of South Carolina, our typical contracts are 30 days. That's right, from the time you go under contract to the time you close is typically 30 days. Sometimes with things like VA loans, USDA loans, it can be a little bit longer, but for the most part, what we do see is 30-day contracts. Step 4 is inspections. Inspections that we recommend here in South Carolina, first is going to be your home inspection. A home inspector is the one that walks through the house, crawls in the crawl space, climbs on the roof, checks the plumbing, the electrical, all the major aspects of the house. They're going to look for any issues that they can see. And I say see because obviously they're not allowed to cut into walls or anything like that. And at the end of it, they'll give you a very thorough report that shares with you the problems that they found and the issues that may be of concern. The next inspection we recommend is an HVAC inspection. You want to make sure that the heating and cooling system is operating correctly, as well that the ductwork is in good shape. So this is what the HVAC inspector will do. The third inspection is what's called a CL100. Here in South Carolina, we are prone to subterranean termites as well as moisture damage due to the humidity. So what the CL100 inspection entails is looking to see if there is moisture damage, or if there's termite damage, or evidence of active termites. Again, they'll provide you with a report of their findings. Beyond that, it will just depend on the house. Do you need a well test? Do you need a septic test? Those specialty tests that are just going to be dependent on the house that you're looking at. Average cost for these inspections will run you about $600 and up, depending on the square footage of the house, as well as how many air conditioner units they are. Again, for any of my preferred vendors for these inspections, head to my website, brandongaron.com, and you'll find them under the buyer section. So step 5 is closing. And we're going to answer a question right now. Do you need an attorney in South Carolina? And that answer is yes. You do need a real estate attorney right here in South Carolina because we do close with an attorney in South Carolina. Now, I do want to say, because I do have clients that share with me different things from different states, that we do not partake in attorney review. That is not what the attorney is there for. The way the state sees it is that the contracts are written by attorneys. And as licensed agents, we are taught how to fill that contract out. So therefore, there's no need for an attorney to review that contract in order for you to go under contract. Once both parties agree to everything, you are now considered under contract. You have what we call a ratified contract. So the attorney's job is a lot of behind the scenes, pulling title work and preparing the closing documents. The only time you're really going to see the attorney is on closing day to sign your papers. That's right, here in South Carolina, as mentioned, we do close with an attorney. Now, there are certain circumstances, such as cash deals, that you may close with a notary, with attorney on standby for any questions. As far as possession, it's on closing day. On the day of closing, which is the day that your lender actually funds the deal, essentially sending the money to the attorney, and all parties have signed, the keys are yours. Now, I touched on new construction in the beginning, and I just want to briefly tell you what the slight differences are between new construction and what we just talked about. So again, the pre-approval is going to be the same. Home purchasing is almost going to be the same. However, the house may not be completed yet, so you may not see the fully completed version, but you'll know the options that are going to be in it, the colors, and there may or may not be another model to look at that mimics what this house looks like. The contract is where things start to change. Almost every builder uses their own contract. There's not going to be a due diligence period. It's pretty much, do you want the house or not? As far as inspections, you do have inspection options. And the 3 options that I like to call it are: 1, pre-drywall, when the house is in framing, insulation is in, and they are about to put the drywall up. You can have an inspector come in, check out the house, make sure everything looks good behind the walls. The next place that you have the option to do it is as the house is finishing up. We have what's called a blue tape walk, where you walk through the house, make sure everything looks right, make sure there's no damage, make sure everything was according to the way the contract was written. During this time, you can also have an inspector come out, take a look to see if there's anything that he can find wrong with the property. The last one is that most builders are going to offer you couple different warranties, but one of them is your 1 year, what they like to call bumper to bumper warranty, that covers pretty much everything except for cosmetic damages that you cause. So at the 11th month period, you're going to submit that, so by your year, everything is wrapped up and taken care of. This is another opportunity that you can have an inspector come out, inspect the house to see if there's anything they see after the house has gone through its season and settled. Otherwise, the big difference is from the time of contract to closing day. For some people, it may be a lengthy period. Other times, it may be 30 days. Now, when it comes to construction loans, buying a vacant lot, custom building on it, things like that, that process can be a little more in depth, and I do plan to make a video specifically about that, but I'm not going to entirely tackle it in this video just because, again, it can be pretty in depth and a lot of different steps, and we'll see in new construction or a resale.
There's only one phone call that you need to make. In Columbia, Brandon Garon is a real estate agent dedicated to helping families relocating to South Carolina. Contact the agent I trust in Lexington and all of the Midlands, Brandon Garon, and visit him online at brandongaron.com.